This week, a human rights group in Argentina said it had identified a man who had been taken from his mother at a secret detention site more than 40 years ago during the country's so-called dirty war under the rule of a military dictatorship. He was reunited with his sister, who had searched for him for years. But there are concerns that the government of Argentine President Javier Milei is reversing long-standing policy to continue the search for the tens of thousands of citizens who were abducted, never to be seen again. The disappeared. Special correspondent Kira Kay reports from Buenos Aires.
Every year, Argentina holds a day of remembrance for the estimated 30,000 people who were murdered or disappeared by the military junta that ran the country from 1976 to 1983. Americans may know this time as Argentina's dirty war, when intellectuals, students, unionists, and others suspected of being left-wing dissidents vanished into detention and torture centers. Few bodies were ever found. The method of execution was to drop people into the sea from military planes, still alive. After the junta finally fell, activists pushed the country to account for these crimes. Carolina Vilela represents a victims' rights group.
Argentina es conocida como el faro mundial.
Argentina is known as a global beacon in matters of memory, truth, and justice, with more than 1,200 people convicted of crimes against humanity. And it has a long history of human rights organizations and victims driving this entire process.
To educate new generations about this dark past, memory centers like this one have also been created at former clandestine sites.
En este lugar los bajaban, ellos tenían los ojos vendados, una capucha.
Some of these sites remain active crime scenes. Archaeologist Laura Dugine has been excavating this basement of a former detention center. Dugine's team occasionally recovers personal artifacts that both serve as evidence at trials and as a last sign of life for families whose loved ones never returned home.
La sociedad argentina sigue construyendo, digamos.
Argentine society is still piecing together information about state terrorism because a pact of silence by Argentina's military remains in place to this day. The artifacts we found have helped to confirm the testimony of survivors.
The junta also appropriated more than 400 babies, taken from their mothers before they were executed and given to other families, often members of Argentina's military. Leonardo Fossati was one of them.
I was born in this clandestine detention center on March 12, 1977, where my mother and father were disappeared. There were many years where I had doubts about my identity. I didn't bear a physical resemblance to the family that raised me, and we didn't have any photos from my mother's pregnancy.
Fossati and 139 other now adults have recovered their previous identities with the help of an organization called the Abuelas, or Grandmothers of the Plaza de Mayo. Estela Carlotto, now 94, found her own grandson in 2014. 2 missing grandchildren have been identified so far this year.
It's not just about identifying these victims and allowing them to live the truth and have the opportunity to meet their families. It also has to do with ensuring that these crimes, which are the most serious in the world, are punished.
But activists say all this progress is now at risk through actions by Argentina's new government. In November 2023, Argentina elected President Javier Milei, a libertarian economist who promised to address the country's economic chaos. Facundo Robles managed the Wilson Center's Latin America program.
In the period that goes from February 2017 to February 2025, inflation was 7,800%. Milei, he's drastically decreasing the size of the state. He fired 40,000 people out of the public sector.
Milei is known for his flamboyant style And his cost cutting was an inspiration for Doge. Earlier this year, he appeared at a Washington, D.C. Republican conference to hand Elon Musk a chainsaw.
Chainsaw for bureaucracy.
While the government cuts are mostly across the board, Carolina Vilela says the ongoing search for children abducted by the junta is under additional pressure.
La Unidad Especializada de Investigaciones.
The Special Investigations Unit within the National Commission for the Right to Identity was closed. The National Genetic Data Bank is being cut, a budget reduction of almost 50%. The Ministry of Security's documents are extremely important for conducting investigations, but the document analysis team has been dismantled.
Silotti dice,
Memory sites are facing drastic cuts too, and must shorten their operating hours and end programming. And at archaeologist Laura Duguine's lab, signs mark the chairs of her laid-off staffers. She has had to stop expanding work at her site when a new roof to protect it was canceled by the Ministry of Public Works.
If we can't conserve the archaeological site today, tomorrow we won't have it, and the heritage can't be replaced. While the trials are today, they won't be in 20 years.
At an Inter-American Commission hearing in Washington, D.C., the government defended its cuts, insisting memory programs will continue despite them. But Malay's administration has also gone on the attack. His vice president is the niece of an officer charged with the disappearance. Both she and Malay have questioned the number of 30,000 junta victims. And over the last 2 Remembrance Day holidays, the government's official video accused victims' groups of manipulating memory for political and economic gain.
Milei had the support of a generation of people that don't know, and maybe they don't even care, of what the dictatorship was. And as long as Milei controls the inflation, people will be like, say whatever you want.
Leonardo Fossati says remaining survivors deserve to have their cases solved.
It was a gift of life to regain my identity. And it's only fair that other people who are going through the same thing know the truth. We urge the world's societies to call on Argentina to respect human rights.
For PBS News Weekend, I'm Kira Kay in Buenos Aires, Argentina.